reached fever pitch as her NFL champion partner Travis Kelce touched down in Sydney in time for the rest of her sellout shows. Fresh from winning his second consecutive Super Bowl with the Kansas City Chiefs this month, the record-breaking tight end player arrived on Thursday for Swift's 4 final shows in Sydney. The star has kept a relatively low profile since arriving in Sydney. She was spotted with fellow music star and support act Sabrina Carpenter at Italian restaurant Pellegrino 2000 in inner-city Sydney on Tuesday night. The two were filmed being ushered out by private security surrounded by screaming fans. The modern music legend was seen at Sydney Zoo in the western Sydney Parklands on Wednesday, where she is said to have taken a particular interest in Tasmanian devils. She is rumored to be staying at the Crown Casino's $38,000 presidential villa. About 320,000 Swifties will flock to Accor Stadium on 4 consecutive nights from Friday for the final leg of the tour. The average Swiftie is expected to spend about $1,300 to attend a show and on merchandise, experts say. Ticket prices for the sold-out shows began range from $79.90 for the cheap seats up to $1,249 for the top VIP package. More than 100,000 attendees will come from outside NSW. Local businesses are getting in on the hype. Sydney bars are hosting Taylor Swift-themed events, including trivia, while Sydney-based gelato brand Messina has launched a special, Black Space Baby, flavor. Destination NSW estimates the tour will bring a major tourism and economic boost to the city. NAB figures showed Swift's shows in Melbourne generated a $174 million boost in spending, based on the bank's merchant terminals. With Taylor Swift's The Eras Tour Australia 2024 in full swing, it's time to look back at the grandeur of her 3-day Melbourne performances ahead of her upcoming Accor Stadium shows in Sydney. Visit Victoria, the tourism board for the state of Victoria, has highlighted the special love story between the Australian cultural melting pot and Swift herself. The nation's biggest stadium, the Melbourne Cricket Ground, hosted the Eras Tour Melbourne shows from February 16 to 18, 2024. In attendance, over 96,000 fans took to the stands for 3 consecutive nights. However, Swift's arrival wasn't merely celebrated on the stadium grounds. Taylor Swift fans from wide and beyond traveled to Melbourne for the Swiftie weekend and lit up the oldest train station around, Flinders Street Station. While it was an honor for the nation's event capital to host the 14-time Grammy winner, it was an equally record-breaking feat for the anti-hero songstress. Melbourne's iconic landmarks were decked in midnight blue and other signature colors that respectfully commended the pop star's musical eras. Swift has become one of the illustrious artists who have previously played to the biggest crowds at the Melbourne Cricket Ground. Ed Sheeran, one of her dearest buddies, also performed a starry performance for 110,000 fans at the MCG in 2023. Flinders Street Station was lit up from dusk to midnight with the Welcome to Melbourne Swifties projection on February 15 to 18. On top of that, the Midnight's pop icons music was played at Flinders Street tram stops between Spencer Street and Spring Street from 1 p.m. to 8 p.m. on concert nights from February 16 to 18. Visitor Victoria CEO Brendan McClements also remarked, Melbourne's global reputation as a major event city attracts thousands of visitors to unmissable moments. A power combo was churned when the city's splendor aligned with Taylor Swift's Eras Tour, further boosting hotels, restaurants and other businesses. McClements added, Taylor Swift is the latest music star to enjoy a career-defining Melbourne moment, and we are proud to see her setting a new crowd record at the MCG and generating even more momentum for our city. Before the upcoming 4-night Eras Tour Sydney shows, Swift delivered her mashup mayhem as the surprising highlight of her Melbourne concerts. She tuned into the Come Back Here in Daylight medley for the 3rd and final night, with Teardrops on My Guitar. Before that, she'd performed a Getaway Car, August and the Other Side of the Door mashup, with a piano performance of This Is Me Trying. Kicking her fans into a frenzy on Melbourne Night 1, Taylor took charge with her guitar to serve a Red performance, while her piano surprise song was You're Losing Me. On Tuesday, Singapore said it had provided a grant to help bring Taylor Swift's record-breaking Eras tour to the city-state, the solo Southeast Asian stop for the pop icon. In a joint statement, the Culture Ministry and the Singapore Tourism Board said authorities had worked directly with the concert organizers. The statement follows reports that Thai Premier Sretha Thavisin last week alleged the city-state had made an exclusive deal for Swift to perform only in Singapore and not in any other Southeast Asian countries. Singapore declined to reveal the grant amount and did not say if an exclusive deal had been reached, citing business confidentiality. Fans headed to Sydney Olympic Park this weekend may be in for a shock as two major artists take the stage. About 400,000 fans are expected to pass through the precinct with both Taylor Swift and Blink-182 put on shows on both Friday and Saturday night. Swift will also be performing on Sunday and Monday nights. Here's a breakdown of what to expect to avoid missing out on your favorite act. Transport for NSW said they have put on hundreds of additional trains and buses to run to Sydney Olympic Park each night. Ticket holders are eligible to access free public transport across the whole network between Friday and Monday. Transport for NSW Coordinator General Howard Collins said the Eras Tour could be the biggest four-day event since the 2000 Olympic Games held in Sydney. "We do expect maybe 400,000 people in this precinct," Mr. Collins said. "We remind people that the best way to travel is by public transport. If you're traveling by public transport, expect there will queues, because there will be 50,000 of you wanting to get back on the train service. But we'll get you home safely. Take your time and enjoy the atmosphere. There will be an extra 550 train services running across the 4 days, as well as 700 extra buses. Express and limited stop trains will run to Olympic Park from Central and Western Line stations from mid-afternoon across Friday, Saturday and Sunday, with return services available each night. Buses will replace trains between Newcastle Interchange and Wyong from 1:20 p.m. on Friday until 2 a.m. on Tuesday for those traveling from the Central Coast and Newcastle towards Sydney as trackwork repairs continue.